What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode of WWE Content. And last night, the season finale of Dark Side of the Ring, talking about a wrestler who wrestled with one leg, Zach Gowen. That whole episode, I my jaw dropped. I think 3 or 4 times because not just how he wrestled with one leg, but how it started. This kid grew up in two-bedroom apartment with his mother. His dad left when he was 4 years old. When he was 8, he got hurt, and his leg wasn't really healing properly. That they found a tumor growing in his leg, where he was going through the treatments. They weren't working. He went through chemo, wasn't working until the last resort was to cut his leg off. That was the last resort he had in order to survive. Because of that, he had to live on with having one leg. But that didn't stop him from being a wrestler, though. No, no. This kid, 17 years old, goes to a wrestling school, gets trained by one of the best of the best, kicks ass in the independent league, where TNA grabs him up, and this guy, this, no, I'm sorry, this kid, 17, 18 years old, on TNA wrestling with AJ Styles and Kurt Angle and his boss is Jeff Jarrett. Like, this guy was kind of living the dream. This guy was living the dream if you think about it. Where he kicked ass in all the promotion, he kicked ass in the matches, he kicked ass in the promos. Like, this kid was willing to do anything at all costs to become a wrestling superstar. Then WWE calls him, and they saw the footage. They saw him win this match. They saw him do what he does, like a no wrestler would do with 2 legs. But this kid's doing it with one leg. Like, that's amazing. That's freaking amazing. So Vince McMahon calls him up and he's like, "Hey, you want to be on SmackDown?" He said, "Sure. Oh yeah, sure. Okay, okay, good. Because you're gonna work in an angle with Hulk Hogan for a couple weeks." And this guy was like, "What? I'm gonna be in a wrestling storyline with my idol Hulk Hogan?" I think back then that was every kid's dream. That was everybody's dream. To not only work in the WWE, but to work with Hulk Hogan, the immortal Hulk Hogan, as a matter of fact. The man who started the coolest wrestling storyline since the 80s. Having awesome storylines, having awesome rivalries with people, going to WCW, forming the coolest faction in wrestling history. Like, this kid is gonna work with this guy, and this kid's 19. He's 19 years old, and he's now in the WWE wrestling with one leg, and he's working with Hulk Hogan and Rowdy Piper. Like, what? He couldn't believe it. Heck, watching the episode, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was crazy. Like, his whole story is just so, it was interesting. It was so powerful how this guy overcame through so much crap in his life that he was in the wrestling business, and he got to wrestle with the biggest names in the business. Throughout the course of his wrestling career, he was doing great. He worked with Hulk Hogan. He was, main eventing SmackDown shows. He was tag teaming with Brock Lesnar. He did a little promo, backlash against Vince McMahon. Like, he was really killing it. But as everybody knows, when you're in the wrestling business and you're fresh in your career, you're starting off hot and heavy. People love you. They want to take picture with you. They want to buy drinks for you. The fame gets to your head, and for Zach, it got to his head. Like, he was out partying, he was out drinking, he was getting drugs. And then, on, like I said, this kid's age, he was 19. He wasn't even 21 yet. And this kid is partying with wrestlers who were like in their mid 20s, early 30s or something. And this kid's 19, going to bars with them, be like, "Hey, I'm a wrestling star. I'm about to drink with these guys." Like, what? And then then like his storyline into the wrestling business was so good, and his moves were just so miraculous. Like it was interesting, like the way he would go off the rope with one leg, the moonsault, going over the top rope, doing the suicide dive, um doing the drop kick on people with one leg. Like it was freaking incredible. Like I was mesmerized by the footage they were showing us. Like the footage that they're showing us with him in the ring, the tag teaming. I mean, it was incredible. But things started to deteriorate for him as the years went on. Like he was out partying more than focusing on the wrestling business. He was disrespecting the locker room. He disrespected the wrestlers. He disrespected the boardroom, like the main office, the corporate office. On top of that, he was supposed to work with Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper again, but of course, at that time, things sort of unraveled. Hulk Hogan, he unmasked himself and he quit the business. And then Roddy Piper, he had heavy backlash from WWE because of what he said on TV in an interview about the wrestlers dying left and right due to alcohol abuse and drug abuse. Like, he didn't want that kind of controversy in the wrestling business. So, Zack, he just went on his own. But when he went on his own, he thought he was better than everybody else. He thought, since he was a wrestler like everybody else, he knows everything. He can do whatever he wants, and he can't get away with it. But that sadly wasn't the case for him. And then he partied way too much. Then he was kind of ordering the wrestlers around, saying, "I want you to do this, do this, do this with me, and then we'll do this, and then this and this." Well, the wrestlers didn't take it too good, where they beat the crap out of him for one, and thanks to a sudden move that one of the guys did to him, he had concussion. So he calls one of the producers, John. He's like, "Hey, I'm not feeling too good. I have a little concussion." He's like, "Okay, um, take rest. After 6 weeks, if you're feeling better, call me up. We'll figure something out." He's like, "Okay, sure." 6 weeks goes by. He calls him up. Next thing he knows, the people in corporate and the wrestlers don't like what he's doing in the business, so they let him go. Fired him. A few months later, he never got the call again, and that was it. So he's at WWE. He's trying to find his footing somewhere in wrestling. He does, independent wrestling circuits, working around trying to see if he can get back to the big leagues. He goes back to TNA. Same thing happened to him again. He was disrespectful to the roster. He was partying too much. And then the one thing that cost him his wrestling career in TNA just shattered. He goes to a party and Jeff Jarrett's there. Like at that time, it was TNA. It was early years. Everybody was there with Jeff Jarrett. They were out there partying, drinking, whatever. He goes to another level, and he goes to Jeff Jarrett, his boss, the owner of the company at the time. He's like, "Hey Jeff, do you have any cocaine?" And Jeff's like, "Whoa, whoa, what are you talking about?" He's like, "Come on, man, come on, man, come on, it's time to party. Come on, let's go, let's do cocaine." And he's like, "No, get out, just get out, just get out." So he kicks him out. There was no contract for him, nothing in TNA. Time goes on, again, he's doing independent, he's signing autographs, doing meet and greets. And then the one person that stood out to him in the meet and greet was his father. After many years of him not being part of his life, he walked on him when he was 4. He never bothered to see him when he was in the hospital when he had cancer, and they had to amputate his leg when he was 8 years old. All of a sudden now, this guy's like 20, like 23, 24, and this man, his father, goes up to him and says, "Can you make this out to your dad?" And he looks up at him and he sees his old man. He hands him a letter. And Zach said, I don't remember what the delivery said, but he said, he regrets not being part of my life, and he wants us to rebuild a relationship, and how everything that happened between me and him, we should try to rehash it or something. But all Zach saw was just he saw red. He was just angry at his father for not being there for him. Time goes on. He's still wrestling. He's working odd jobs. Still partying. He's still partying. He's going out. He's drinking. He's doing drugs. Like any kind of drug he was doing, he was using. Where one night changed his life completely. Like that was the night he turned his life around. Where he was working at a pizza place. He was delivering pizzas, making some tip money. Next thing he knows, he goes to a bad neighborhood. I think he said this was in Michigan. This was in Michigan. He goes to a bad neighborhood in Michigan where he goes to the door, he knocks on it, says pizza delivery, no one comes. Out of nowhere, this man comes up from behind the car. Zach freaks out. The guy pulls a gun on him saying, "Empty your pockets." So all he had was his phone, his keys, the money he had made in tips for pizza, and that was it. He had nothing else on him. He said, "That's all I have." So the guy says, "Turn around." As he feels the gun being pointed to his head, the guy says, "Run." And he flew. He ran. I think he said he ran 3 or 4 blocks, and in his shoe he had 2 pills. I think it was oxy. Yeah, he had 2 pills of oxy on him, and right then and there, that's when he said, "This is the turning point. Like I need to get my life together. I need to get my crap together. Like I can't keep doing this." So he goes back to his mom. He said, "I need help. Like I need help." So his mom scrambled through some paperwork. Next thing she knows, she finds a contract from the WWE stating that if a wrestler was is under contract or was under previous contract with the company, we have a phone number and the address for the rehab center where they paid it. Like they paid in full the room, the therapy sessions, all of that. The WWE pays for that, and that was his savior. Like he went to rehab, he got clean, he got his act together, he got married, he has 4 great kids. And then one day, AEW calls him up. He goes back into the ring, and it's like he never left. He was doing the moonsault. He was doing the drop kicks. He was doing all the great moves he did before when he was 19. Just a few years later, it's like he never missed a beat. Like what a way to end that season. I mean, we have had a crazy season of Dark Side of the Ring. I mean, we had a 3-part episode about Jeff Jarrett and TNA. Then we had a crazy episode about the renegade wrestler who was a clone image of the Ultimate Warrior in the early 90s. We heard from the first female wrestler slash valet slash announcer from WCW talking about her career that she did in the 90s and also how she overcame her her obstacles and she's living an amazing life. Then we go into about the big boss man who, in reality, he was really a prison security guard, and that was his gimmick in the WWF at the time. Like, what? Then, of course, we go to another legend, Paul Orndorff, who main evented WrestleMania, who had a rivalry with Hulk Hogan, one of the first rivalries with the 2 biggest stars in the business. He created that. He made that happen. He was on the main event of WrestleMania. Like he went through so much in his life, and his son took care of him every day till the day he died. And now the season finale of Zach Gowen, who overcame so many obstacles, cheated death. He cheated death. He survived cancer, and he got to wrestle in the biggest company in the world. Yeah, back then he may have been arrogant, and he even did admit he was an asshole. But the way I see it, and I've heard this from many people, is there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And Zach went through that dark tunnel, and he came out as a better man. To me, seeing that episode was just so inspiring. And I've heard stories about people who've lost their leg or lost an arm, and they had to go through life trying to make their life better with using either one hand or one arm or one leg. But this kid, he wrestled with one leg. Like, you don't see that. You rarely see that. You don't see that every day. You rarely see it actually on wrestling on live TV. But he persevered. He's sober. He's clean. He's married. He's got four great, amazing kids. And his story was just really inspiring. Like, it really was. And honestly, that was a great way to end season 7 of Dark Side of the Ring. Like, it was just amazing. Now, I have said before that I would do Dark Side of the Ring recaps off of previous episodes I've watched in the past, especially specifically the ones I've watched more than once. So that is exactly what I'm gonna do. So around every Wednesday, no matter what time it is, I will do a recap of a Dark Side of the Ring's previous seasons and previous episodes until season 8 debuts. Now, I guess season 7 is over, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do season 8 sooner than we know. And it could be anything. It could be about a wrestling company, could be about a wrestler, could be about a wrestling couple, or a guy who owned a wrestling business. Whatever the case is, we will never know until we see the trailer for season 8. But season 7 knocked out of the park, and it's been a crazy, awesome ride watching season 7. Um, that's all I have for today, guys. We have SmackDown coming up soon. After that, we have AAA. Also, I think yes, on the 30th we will have a two premium live events. One AAA where we will see 6-man tag team matches, a contract signing between Dominic and El Grande. We have a gauntlet match coming up for the NS Championship, and on top of that, we will see who will be crowned the new Latin American champion for AAA. Also, a few hours later, we will see NXT Heatwave, where a lot of shit is going down. But I'll talk about that at a later time. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you guys soon.